Vamos a preguntárselo a nuestro siguiente invitado, es Raphaël Olszyna-Marzys, es economista internacional de Safra Sarasin Bank. Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
Do you think the markets have overreacted today positively to President Trump's tariff negotiation, considering that the process is still far from over?
Yeah, I mean, I think when the market really crashes, for 2-3 days, there's always a rebound at some point, regardless of the fundamentals. So, I don't know if it's overreacted, but what I know is that the end game is far from over. It's only the beginning. I mean, that's the administration is saying that itself, that this is only the beginning in terms of negotiations, in terms of what they want to try to achieve. So I think it could be just a bit of a rebound amid a broader correction.
And to what extent do you think Wall Street is prepared to withstand a potential new cycle of volatility driven by tariff-related uncertainty?
So, can you ask again the question?
Yeah. To what extent do you think Wall Street is prepared to withstand a potential new cycle of volatility?
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is that nobody really knows. So we have an idea of where the administration wants to go. They have their own logic. I think the way they're trying to achieve their goals is to many economists not very logical. And I think everybody, Wall Street including, is trying to kind of price where the end game is. So I think, for the moment, you can see different scenarios. There's, every banks have their kind of base case scenario, optimistic scenario, downside scenarios, and the pricing is somewhere in the middle. So my guess is that that volatility is unlikely to disappear. We think that policy uncertainty is a feature of this administration. It's not going to disappear overnight. So policy uncertainty in itself means that market volatility is likely to be elevated for some time.
The bond market seems to have calmed down today as well. Should be interpreted as a genuine signal of investor confidence.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, people normally go into the bond market when risk assets sell off. Today, risk assets recovered, and therefore, the bond market adjusted as well. So I think today's move is really kind of a reaction of the last couple of days' move. So I wouldn't read too much into one-day move. I think as I said, the sell-off was very aggressive in equities of the last few days. Today was a correction, and similarly for the bond market. So I think this is more short-term moves, and we shouldn't extrapolate that into the future.
And how much strain could a prolonged period of trade negotiations place in the U.S. economy in the coming months?
Yeah, no, I think quite a bit. So if you look at the increase in the effective tariff rate in the U.S., you're probably above 25%. So that's the highest level since the start of the 20th century. So we haven't seen those tariff rates in more than 100 years. And I think this is a very big shock for the U.S. economy. It's a big shock for the global economy. At the end, we'll have to see how much is negotiated away. So that the administration is using tariffs for different purposes. One is to try to reindustrialize the U.S. economy. Another one objective is to raise fiscal revenue, and another one is to basically another aspect of tariffs is to extract concessions from partners. And the so-called reciprocal tariffs, which is equivalent to around 15%. It's potentially negotiable, but what the administration is accusing other countries is to have a trade surplus with the US. So if you are, let's say, Vietnam, and you have a massive trade surplus with the US, and the administration is telling you, you need to reduce your trade surplus, what do? You shut down your Nike factories in order to please the administration. question mark. So, and similarly for Europe, they will say, okay, you have a big trade surplus with us. You have VAT, which is unfair. You have environmental regulation, which is unfair, etc., etc. What does the EU do? I mean, does it abandon its kind of DNA? Does it abandon the way it sees things? So I think the negotiations will be very tricky. Obviously, you're gonna see sound bites out of the administration that's saying, negotiations are going great. The US is winning on many fronts, which is what the administration is saying today, and probably partly responsible for the rebound in equities. But I think negotiations will be very tricky, because what the administration is basically accusing other countries is to having a large trade surplus with the US. So I think that's not easy to negotiate away.
Raphaël Olszyna-Marzys, international economist at Safra Sarasin Bank. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for the question.
Good afternoon.
I'm happy to be with you.